It's Friday morning movie reviews. I'm Nathan CK.
I'm Louis Angel.
And we saw Dunkirk
on 70 millimeter film. Take that, film nerds. We did
it. Yes.
I would rather have seen it on digital now.
What was your last 70 millimeter film, or was this your
my
first
last?
one?
This might have been my first 70. I saw Interstellar on 35 millimeter.
I saw Hateful Eight on.
You saw on 70.
On 70. No.
I know it matters to people, and I thought it would matter to me, but I don't care. I thought, look, The Revenant, most beautiful movie I've ever seen. Right. It's shot digitally. Yeah. It's not shot in film. So I'm not... I love Nolan. I love the guy. I fought Duncan Jones on Twitter just proving how much I love the guy. But to me, it didn't make a difference.
I mean, but there was this article in the Chicago Tribune, or Chicago Sun-Times, whatever, and it showed the aspect ratio of what 70 millimeter versus digital versus IMAX.
Oh.
And you can tell the difference that in digital, it definitely cuts off and shrinks what was actually shot. Yeah. And that's, you know, you see just a bigger picture, wider angle, and that's, I guess, the whole purpose of shooting in 70 mil. I don't know.
Well,
but
Dunkirk is really about one really, really, really bad day for these soldiers at the beach. It's during World War II. It's about this British evacuation. And what makes it different from every other World War II movie, you never see the enemy.
Yeah.
You never see them. This is a disaster movie and a survival movie together is what this is.
Yeah. And I think it's really amazing. One of the awesome scenes that definitely is really like the whole like essence of Dunkirk is when those papers are flying down
at the very beginning of the movie.
And that's the beginning of the movie.
The paper's flying down, saying we surround you.
And it's surrounding you, yeah. So that it shows you're screwed. The
fact that the Nazis took the time to go to the printing press and print out some propaganda to people they're gonna kill.
You're screwed.
Now this movie is told in 3 parts: the land, the air, and the sea.
Yep. And
it's 3 different timelines. So I think you should know that, because it can get confusing at times. I knew this and I was confused. Because it's 3 different timelines, and, you know, them meeting, them intersecting, and then you see characters here, but they were over there. It was, you know, when we last saw them, the clothes changed, or what happened.
Yeah.
And from the first gunshot in this movie, my heart was racing.
Oh, yeah.
It was so loud and intense. This movie better win for sound mixing or sound editing. This movie's going to win a lot of Oscars, I feel. A lot of people are calling it like a lock for Best Picture already.
Really?
Yeah, this thing's going to make... It's going to put Nolan, finally, he's going to get nominated for this. And he's the star of the movie. I mean, we have other people like Fionn Whitehead and Harry Styles and Mark Rylance, Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Kenneth Branagh. They're all in the movie, but it's Nolan's. He's the star.
Yeah.
He is absolutely the star.
Just watching the movie, it's incredible to think how he got this done. You know, he always pushes boundaries.
Yes, he does.
And even in, like, the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises, with that airplane scene with Bane, and the airplane falls, like, what the heck? How? And it's just watching these ships, big, huge, you know, just falling.
Mind-blowing stuff.
Bombs falling.
And you know it's him, so you know he did it for real.
And you have people, just millions of people on the beach. Well, not millions, but probably.
You have like 400,000 people on the beach.
Yeah.
And it is so...
It's breathtaking just to see everything.
It's a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You know, his Hoyt van Hamme, I think is the cinematographer's name. Just a gorgeous job he did. This is one of the most beautiful looking movies of the year, easily. It fights apes on that.
It does, doesn't it?
With the beauty of it. Hans Zimmer's score, it's like a watch ticking.
Right.
And you're so... It's so intense.
Right. Because the ticking, you don't know if, something's...
You're leaning to
time's
something.
Up type thing.
Oh, yeah, big time.
You know? But a lot of the characters, the younger characters from probably British actors, but
yeah, a lot of British actors.
I feel like, I don't know, you kind of connect with them a little bit.
Did you?
I mean, you do. And there's parts where I'll relate this to Ghost Story, in the fact that Ghost Story doesn't have a lot of dialogue. And there's parts where you're like, wait, what's happening? And you're lost in the Ghost Story. Oh. But here, in Dunkirk, there's so much, I mean, it can be that it's based on a true story, that you already have background and you already have character development in that, regard. But when there's scenes and no one's talking and there's an exchange, you feel that between the characters, because there's build-up. And I don't know where I'm really going with this, but I mean, you don't need to throw in lines if you don't have to.
And he doesn't. He for sure doesn't.
And he doesn't. You don't need some dumb Valyrian
dialogue,
cliche dialogue just so because you need to say something.
And yeah, that's a good point. If you don't have to say anything, don't.
Yeah.
It's not like they're gonna sit around trying to get to know each other. When they're in a giant cacophony of mayhem that's going on. Mm-hmm. That's my poster quote right there. Cacophony of mayhem. I do think the movie has a character problem where you don't latch on to anybody. You don't really.
Well, they're there for certain times.
They're there, yeah.
You're trying to grasp on, and then you know.
I would be very interested in seeing how much screen time Tom Hardy had, how much screen time Mark Rylance had. Because you're gonna be shocked, I think, because I don't think you see them. Harry Styles is probably in the movie for like 10 minutes. Maybe 12, 15, just peppered in. Yeah. And that's the same with everybody.
But then that's the effect of the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline's
because
crossing.
They cross over, and you see the actor in a different position. You don't see him as the narrative, really. You don't see him as what's being filmed.
That's what you don't have.
In a, you see Tom Hardy flying the plane in the cockpit, but then you're in Mark Rylance's position, and you see the plane going by,
And Mark Rylance, I thought he was the best actor in the movie. I liked him best. I liked him best. And Cillian Murphy honestly doesn't have much to do in the movie.
Right.
But they're all...
It's
not about them. It's about the battle. It's about the moment. It's about surviving.
Yeah, right.
And this
it's about the bigger essence.
And you've never seen a war movie like this.
Right.
You've never... And this is probably the most intense movie I've ever seen, where for certain scenes my heart was racing.
Yeah.
Where characters...
You jump a little bit. I jumped.
I jumped too. You see they're on a boat and the water starts filling up, and you see, oh my god, the plane's coming back, or the very beginning of the movie running from the gunfire.
Yeah, that was
incredibly intense. The cinematographer, the composer, and the director just perfectly created this film.
Masterpiece.
I was going to say masterpiece, but I hesitated.
Well, there's a little bit hesitant.
I do think it's his character problem. But, I mean, I'm going to watch this movie for years to come.
Yeah.
And can you say anything better?
I don't know.
About a movie?
Better than that? So let's go ahead and rate this thing.
Let's go ahead and rate this thing. Well, I will say this is the coldest of the Chris Nolan movies.
It is.
And he does have that problem, kind of, where it's hard for him to relay emotion other than fear and pain and survival. He tried with Interstellar. He does not try at all in here. There's one moment where you might get teary-eyed that we both did. I don't want to... This is like middle of the Nolan list for me. This isn't my favorite. I don't think it's his worst at all. I think this is a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go really high. I do think it's one of the best movies of the year because you haven't seen anything like it.
Right.
I'm gonna go 4.7 out of 5.
I'm gonna do 4.72. You took it right out of my mouth.
Yes.
We agree on stuff. Yes, it's good.
Finally.
Definitely go see this movie. There were some complaints about it being too loud.
The veterans who fought in Dunkirk said the movie is louder. And it's a loud movie, by God.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's very intense. It doesn't allow you to breathe until the end.
There's some scenes where I found myself holding my breath.
I like that, though.
You like it?
I like it. I like the constant, like, intense.
So intense.
It keeps going, and it keeps going.
And it makes perfect sense why this movie was so short.
Yeah, yes.
I don't think my heart could take any more. Thank you, Chris.
Alright, 4.7s, guys. You're definitely going to like this movie. Hopefully it wins Oscars.
Hopefully it makes a lot of money, too.
Christopher Nolan, I hope you do...
Why don't you sit in the back seat for our next review? Why don't you join us sometime? We'll interview. Alright, guys, that's our review. Like, comment, and subscribe.